Good morning and welcome to the Handicappers Report for Friday, January 12th. Seth Merrill and Sully Crotty. Good morning, Sully.
Good morning, Seth.
Happy to join you this morning, talk a little Aqueduct and Gulfstream. You'll take a look at Gulfstream a little bit later on. I will look at New York racing as the weather has turned. They're back on track in New York. Of course, the weather turned in New York, but Wednesday down in Florida, they were off the weather's always something someplace.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
It's never perfect.
Yeah, but it's been nice up here in the Capital District over the past few days. Coming up this weekend, tomorrow down at Fairgrounds is the LeCompte, their first step on the Derby Trail. Should be a lot of fun. Wonder Godot, the nice filly for Mark Casse, comes out of a win in the Demoiselle. She will try the boys. Looks like the favorite is going to be Principe Guilherme for Steve Asmussen. Last weekend we saw a couple of nice performances along the Derby Trail, Mask in Florida and Mackenzie out in California. It's always kind of fun to get started on the Derby Trail, and it seems like this year we're getting some nice horses early in January.
Yeah, I mean, the fields down at Fairgrounds on Saturday, they're loaded, and I was looking at the PPs earlier, and you know, there's some good races. Wonder Godot's race is good, and she's actually entered in 2 races, so maybe she'll, you know, if she goes against the boys, that'd be awesome. But if she doesn't, she's going to be the favorite in her stakes race. But one of the horses we saw, Woodbine Tower of Texas, is entered in one of the stakes races as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how Roger Atfield and Tower of Texas do.
Yeah, nice day scheduled, nice stakes day scheduled Saturday down at the Fairgrounds. I'm going to run through some of the promos here at OTB before we jump into the handicapping. First, I want to remind you that we want to thank our friends at Gulfstream for their sponsorship. Gulfstream Park, champions start here. Today, Friday, January 12th, at the Clubhouse Racebook, there will be a $500 bankroll. I'll have $500 to play on behalf of 30 patrons. 15 will be selected here at the Clubhouse, 5 from new account holders, and 10 online. The sign-ups start at 11 here at the Clubhouse Racebook and go to 2. I'll start playing at about 1. So I guess you have an hour. You have an hour to see if it's worthwhile signing up. See if I can get off to a good start. But it's always a lot of fun. Boy, back in November, we were alive at the end of the day for a $16,000 pick 4. Didn't get it, but we did make a little money that day. Everybody walked away with some cash. We're going to try for something similar. We're going to try to hit one of those home runs this Friday, January 12th. Today, $500 bankroll, Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Saturday, January 13th, Fan Appreciation Day at the Slate Valley Lanes Easy Bet. That's out in Granville. If you're a patron out there, we want you to swing by so we have our chance to say thank you to you. The first 25 folks through the door get a $2 bet voucher and a giveaway items. There are going to be programs and winner's choice sheets available, food and beverage. Always a lot of fun. And again, if you're a patron at the Slate Valley Lanes Easy Bet branch, stop by so we can say thank you to you on Saturday. Saturday also, it's the kickoff to the Road to Vegas handicapping contest. It'll go all year long with some accumulating points month by month. This is the January version. It is Saturday. At the end of the year, the top 8 points accumulators will face off for a potential seat at the NHC tournament in Vegas. More information available at capitalotb.com. And as always, during the football season, Sunday means NFL Football Sunday here at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. More information on all the promos and events available, as always, at capitalotb.com. All right, Sully, you ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's jump in. I'll look at Aqueduct a little bit later on, but we're going to kick things off in Florida. You're going to take a look at the opener on Friday. It's a plain vanilla 12-5 claimer. They'll go 7 furlongs.
2, 3, 7, and 1 here for me. Chiseled 7-2 on the morning line for Peter Wallner, he's had a good champions meet. He's running the money 17 times in 33 starts. The horse is cutting back. 2 back ran in a $108,000 stakes race at the track. That was at a mile and a 16th. And the horse really is cutting back in distance, making the first start under a mile in the career. And the horse does have some speed. We see 3 and 4 back, trying to get to the lead. Was in second by a head, and 4 back. Was in third by a length and a half. Should get to the lead against this field. There is other speed in this race. But I think Louis Sides will have this horse in a nice stalking role, if not on the lead. Number 3 in the second spot, Sandbrook Edge, 6-1 on the morning line. Going out for Howard Mills, who's still looking for his first win. at the Champions Meet. He's been close. He's got a place in a show. One of those was at the wire last time out on December 23rd by a head at 18-1. Just really impressive in a claiming 6-2 there. Going up to a claiming 12-5. I think a horse that you should use in your exotics and supers. Does love the Gulfstream track. 10 starts and 8 times in the money with 3 wins. So a horse at a good value that you should probably throw underneath in your exotics. Number 7 in the third spot is the morning line favorite, Ship Disturber. Going up for Charles Dickey, Tyler Gaffalione up. A horse with some closing speed, and we've seen the horse take a nice stalking role in winning by 3. That was earlier in the 2017 campaign at Churchill Downs at 7 furlongs. Ran 6 furlongs last time in an optional claiming 10. Ran a nice 4th. I thought the horse was a little bit closer to the pace. Could have won the race, but was 8 lengths off with some the fraction slowed down throughout the race and came in 4th that day. So race number 1, 2, 3, 7, and 1.
Race number 2 on Friday afternoon at Gulfstream. Maiden $35,000 claimers. They're on the grass, a quick 5 furlongs.
7, 4, 2, and 1 here. Tough little race to pick an order of horses because there is a ton of speed here. I went with 7 on top, though. That's Sugar. A horse that lost last time by a length and a half and made up some ground, was in some unfamiliar territory early on in that race. I know the horse does have some closing speed, but it's never been 10 lengths off the lead. Made up some ground quickly, was 5 lengths off, and then eventually came in second by a length and a half. I think the horse did, when it did 2 and 3 back, was 5 lengths off to start the race. Very easily could have won the race. That was in a maiden 35. The horse came in 3rd in a maiden special weight 31 at Arlington Park. 3 races back against a pretty good field there. But it's running against familiar company here, against Wine Girl, who's in this field as well, and that's the number 5 horse. But I think with just some closing speed this horse has, especially at the short distance sprint on the grass, could make some noise here. The horse has run in the money every time, every attempt at the distance. Number 4 is Untruthful Sonnet. 9-2 on the morning line. Arad Ortiz Jr. is up. Another horse with some closing speed. I think the 2 closers are going to battle it out towards the end of the race here. The horse is cutting back from a mile and a 16th last time out at Gulfstream. That was earlier in December. Going to be interesting to see if the horse tries to do the same tactic as it did 2 back at 7 furlongs at GP West. Took a nice stalking roll. I thought should have won the race, but it was a little wide in that effort down at GP West. So I think Arad Ortiz is going to try to get the horse closer to the lead, and the horse does have a ton of closing speed. We saw some of that closing speed at the mile and a 16th distance last time out. Number 2 is Spring Drama. Second-time starter here for Nancy Harris. I'm going to take a shot here. 15-1. It's going to be a much larger price than that. I thought ran against a pretty good field in the opener, her debut at Tampa. That was 5 furlongs on the grass as well. Coming to Gulfstream, much more competitive field than Tampa, but I think the horse has been working nice, and we've seen the horse make up a lot of ground late. The race was slowed down at Tampa last April, was 12 lengths off, came at 5th by 4.5, made up a lot of ground late in that race. I just think a horse that you should use in your exotics at a big price. Race number 2 at Gulfstream, 7, 4, 2, and 1.
Yeah, the one you have down in the 4th slot kind of intrigues me. Monterey Marianne, like your 2, hasn't been seen since last April. Goes out for Jane Sibeli. And what attracts me is McLean's Music on top. That's a sire that the horses should win sooner rather than later. But the first 2 starts of the career just were not much. But a lot of times they can come back from a layoff like this and do okay. And you look at it, has a little bullet workout early in December that may have signaled good things off the long layoff. And also picks up Jose Ortiz, which makes me go both ways.
Right.
The horse is intriguing to me at a price, but with Jose Ortiz, will we get the price?
Right. Yeah.
So that one is kind of a fun horse maybe in race number 2. All right, 3rd race this afternoon. Optional claimer starter allowance at the $25,000 level. 7 furlongs the trip.
2, 6, 1, and 8. Dream Saturday, 4-1 on the morning line. Peter Walder and Arad Ortiz teaming up. Excuse me. The horse does have a lot of closing speed. Horse ran in a stakes race last time out. 2 back ran in a claiming 20. Won by 4 lengths with Tyler Gaffalione. was just a little overmatched in the mile and 1/8 stakes race early in December. Cutting back from the distance from a mile and 1/8 to 7 furlongs, where the horse won in the slap at Gulfstream Park. That was 2 back. But the horse keeps switching between a mile and 7 furlongs, and I think the 7 furlong distance is much better, and the horse is much more competitive here. Peter Walder, as we said, is having a great meet. The horse did run against Flashy Jewel, who came in second in that stakes race, who's been pretty successful in the year 2017. But the horse has ran third, I think, 4 consecutive times with a second before those 4 thirds. And with the win 2 back, I think the horse's confidence is up. Gerard Ortiz is a confidence rider, and Peter Walder has been doing very well at this meet. Number 6 is Flashy Jewel. 9-5 on the morning line. It's going to be very tough to beat this horse with a ton of speed, and we've seen the horse make up ground when it doesn't get to the lead. 4 back, the horse wired the field. Last time out came in second in a stakes race for Michael Maker, and Tyler Gaffalione is up on the horse. The horse was 12-1 when it came in second in a stakes race, and Tyler's been riding very well. And we've seen the horse have some closing speed earlier on in the career. I think the horse is going to try to wire the field. I don't think anyone's going to try to push the horse. I think the horse is going to set its own fractions. If it gets to the lead, it's going to be tough to catch Flashy Jewel. Number 1 is Aztec Sense. Going out for Jorge Navarro. Jorge Navarro picked up a couple wins last week. The horse is 0-1 at the track, but was pretty competitive in Parks. Won by 9 lengths and an allowance 52. 2 back at Parks, 3 back at Parks, 7 furlongs in the slop. Won by 3 lengths there. So the horse does have some decent wins under its belt. Won at Churchill Downs early May by 3 lengths. And I thought that Churchill race was a very competitive field. The horse went off the favorite that day. And then the horse went to Saratoga. Really didn't do any running there. Lost to We Did and Scarf It Down, who have been pretty successful in the NYRA circuit. Race number 3, 2, 6, 1, and 8.
4th race on Friday at Gulfstream. It is a conditional claimer, $16,000 tags, scheduled on the grass at 7.5 furlongs.
3, 6, 4, and 2 here for me. Number 3 is the morning line favorite. Feed Me Carrots, Louis Science, and Jeremiah Engelhart teaming up. Just a horse that I remember running at Saratoga. Lost to Vasilka, who was 13-1, and I loved the horse that race. Came in second, was flying late in that race. I thought we'd get to the wire. The wire just came a little bit early. And then in the slap at Saratoga early in September, had Kendrick Carmouche up, lost by a nose at 2-1. I just think the horse is going to catch a break here. The horse did win last time out, but has been close since those efforts at Saratoga. Did come in 5th, 3 back. That was at Belmont Park, but that was a very competitive Belmont field. I think the 2 turn, 7.5 furlongs is just what this horse needs. We know the horse can go 2 turns. We've seen it go 2 turns, and we've seen the horse make up a lot of ground if it does not get to the lead. Number 6, taking a shot here. The horse is 30-1 on the morning line. I'm just trying to find a price underneath there. The horse has the bug weight. The horse has shown some light here. The last 3 starts have not been good at all, but I thought early in 2017 the horse did run pretty competitive at some big prices at the track, going 2 turns, 7.5 furlongs. Last time the horse did that was here at Gulfstream Park early February. At 10-1, came in 3rd. So I just think the 2 turn, 7.5 furlongs on the grass is what the horse needs. We've seen the horse run decent at the track doing that. 3rd spot, I went with number 4, 7-2 on the morning line. Going out for Jane Sabelli, a horse that won last time out. I thought should have won 2 back as well. Looking at the replay, just got stuck in between horses. Really didn't have anywhere to run, but made up a lot of ground in that race. So I think some closing speed in the 2 turn, 7.5 on the grass is always dangerous. Tyler Gaffalione's very good turf rider as well. And the trainer won 16% of the mounts in 2017. Race number 4, 3, 6, 4, and 2.
Race number 5 on Friday afternoon kicks off the Friday afternoon Rainbow 6. The 5th race is a maiden 12-5 claimer at the 1-turn mile.
4, 6, 3, and 2 here. Number 4, Grand Fortress. 5-2 on the morning line. Gary Gullo, Jose Ortiz. Coming out of the chute, I think this horse is pretty dangerous. We saw that last time out. It was a 2-1 favorite. Lost to Clemson and Watson, who ran that was a very impressive effort by Clemson and Watson there. But I think the mile distance out of the chute is perfect for this horse. We saw the horse run 7 furlongs in the slop, 6 furlongs on the fast track. Really did no running in the slop at all. And then 6 furlongs in the fast track at Gulfstream. Came in 4th, but that was a field of 8. Had a best buyer last time out when it lost to Clemson and Watson at this maiden 12-5 field. Excuse me. I think Jose Ortiz is going to try to wire the field with this horse. Number 6, 12-1 on the morning line is Dazzling Pros. A horse that 3 back looks very impressive, and I thought that was a very good effort for 4th place there. That was in a maiden 20 at GP West. Last time out, the horse has not run since November of 2017, so the layoff I think is going to help the horse a little bit. And the layoff numbers for the trainer have been okay, winning at a 19% clip with 16 starts. The GP West race in November, I just think the horse ran out of room there. I think the 7 furlongs was a little short because we've seen the horse run pretty well at the mile distance. That was early in October of 2017. So I think the layoff is really going to help the horse running every other week, late in the summer, early in the fall as well. Number 3 is Bannon, 9-5 on the morning line. Todd Pletcher, Louis Saez, 9-5 right on the morning line. Horse that ran in the maiden 50, big drop here to the maiden 12-5. Just a horse that I didn't really know if I wanted to put on top. I thought the effort was okay. He made up was 16 lengths off the lead last time out at the mile distance at Aqueduct. Came in 6th there. I think getting Louis Saez on is really going to help the horse, but it's tough to win a race when you're 16 lengths off the lead. And I think if Louis brings the horse closer to the lead, 5, 6, 7 lengths off, pretty dangerous here at 9-5. But just a horse that I really can't put on top. Todd Pletcher does this a lot. Runs a horse for maiden 50s in New York, drops him somewhere else. Usually the horse is pretty successful, but I think there's other value in this race. Race number 5, 5, 6, 3, and 2.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Bannon does because it's Pletcher, and this is a drop that raises all kinds of red flags. But it's Pletcher, it's Paul Pampa, Louis Saez on board. You know the betting public is going to jump on it on the drop. But when you have a drop like that, you just have to
Right.
really look sideways at it because they're clearly hoping it doesn't come back to their barn at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. All right, we will take a break. We'll come back. We'll continue with Gulfstream for Friday afternoon. A little bit later on, Aqueduct. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You are listening to the Handicappers Report for Friday afternoon, January 12th. Seth Merrow and Sully Crotty. You can listen on the network in the morning, Capital OTB TV, or at your convenience, check out the podcast link at capitalotb.com. All right, race number 6 on Friday afternoon. It's a conditional claimer. 16 tags, non-winners of 3 lifetime. On the grass, 5 furlongs.
5, 7, 11, and 2 here. Number 5, 5-2 on the morning line for Christophe Clement. The horse has 2 wins at the track in 4 starts. Ran in the money every time. And the distance 4 times in the money in 5 starts as well. Christophe Clement, nice little turf sprint for him. In 2017, his turf numbers were okay, 19% clip. The sprint numbers were better, winning at a 23% clip. But when the horse won the last time out, his numbers really have improved from 2016 to 2017, winning at a 22% clip there. So we're trying to see if the horse will go back-to-back. It's going to be the favorite 3 races in a row. 2 back, lost, came in 2nd. I thought that was a good effort there. Had the lead the entire way. But last time out, the horse slowed down the race halfway through the race. And I hope the horse does the same thing today with the ton of speed it has, because it's going to be tough to catch the horse, especially if it slows down the pace. Number 7 is Diamond Mint, 7-2 on the morning line. Steve Glaceris trains the horse that won by a nose last time out, and I thought should have won 2 back at an 18-1 price. Running against some familiar company in number 5 here. But when the horse was 18-1, 2 back, I thought that was a very good effort. Pressed the pace a little bit, had the lead momentarily, and eventually lost by half a length. But last time out, the horse won by a nose at 5-1. That was at a claim in 16 on the grass, going 5 furlongs as well. I just think earlier on in the career, the horse has run against much better competition and was pretty competitive there. A couple fourths, a loss at the wire. That was early in September, the loss at the wire. And early on in the career, lost to Shot Jack at Gulfstream Park, who's been pretty successful down in Florida, and Lily's Fast Boy, who's been pretty successful as well down in Florida. And the horse has always had a good price. I think the 7-2 morning line price is something I can't really put on top after the horse has been 5-1 or better, and it's run pretty well. Number 11, 12-1 on the morning line, Guatemala City. Going out for a trainer that's winning at a 17% clip and has a ton of speed, making the first-time start for these new training connections. Coming in from Woodbine, and the Woodbine shippers have been doing okay down in Florida. They've been running in the money, usually at good prices, and I don't see the horse doing the same thing. Ran 6 furlongs at Woodbine last time. Very nice third-place finish by half a length. Two back came in second by 3 1/4. So I'm just going to jump on the Woodbine shipper train, and they come in at big prices when they hit them and when they run in the money. So number 11, I'm going to throw in the mix as well. 5, 7, 11, and 2.
7th race this afternoon. Again, a maiden 12-5 claimer at the one-turn mile, and Sully like to race 2 back, the 5th race at Gulfstream. There is a Todd Pletcher steep dropper. Paul Pompa had the one 2 races back. Starlight has Sumner in this 7th race this afternoon, dropping from a 50 maiden claimer in the career debut to a 12-5 tag this afternoon. You took a little bit of a shot against the horse 2 back. What are you going to do with Sumner in here?
I did the same thing. I put the horse in third. The horse definitely can win for the big drop here. But I had number 2 on top, Countdown Duke, 10-1 on the morning line. I just thought the experience the horse has at the track is going to help the horse. It's definitely a big shot at 10-1 because the horse really hasn't shown us anything. But I think the works is something that really stands out. The last few works, something that really the horse has improved since the December 20th start. Number 1, Dino Dude, a horse that I wanted to put on top. I'm just going to take a shot against here. The horse does have a little bit of succinitis. The horse 5 times in a row came in second place and came in a nice 4th, I thought. The horse really was going a little fast in the opening half of the race with the speed the horse has. Came in 4th to hang on for 4th. I thought it was okay there. Came in 3rd by half a length. 3 1/2 lengths, excuse me. But 2 back, that was a great effort by the horse in a maiden 12. Came in 2nd by half a length. Really should have won that race. Just the wire was a little bit farther away. But I think the horse is going to try to run like it did 3 back at the mile distance at GP West. Very slow pace there. I thought I had no excuses not to win the race, but it was a battle the entire way. Again, street code, it was never the horse had any lead. It was always a head in front, a neck in front, and eventually lost at the wire. So I don't think there's going to be much other speed in this race. I don't think it will be a head-bobbing finish. If the horse gets the lead, it's going to be tough to beat. And Sumner, number 5, another big drop for Starlight Racing. Todd Pletcher, Louis Saez ran at Gulfstream as an 8-1 horse. Came in 5th in a maiden 50. I think Todd's just trying to find a spot for this horse, just like in the previous race. I think the maiden 50 was a little bit too much, but just Todd's trying to see what he could do here. I think drop to the maiden 12. It's a good move here and fits in nicely at 7-5 price. Just one of those horses, again, I can't put on top, but definitely got to use in your mix. 2, 1, 5, and 7.
Race 8 on Friday afternoon. It's a starter allowance at the 50,000 level. They'll go 1 mile on the grass.
Tough race here. I went 9, 10, 3, and 6. I also think number 11 has a huge shot here at 20-1. But number 9, Love and Empire, a Japanese-bred horse. Jose Ortiz is up with a ton of closing speed. Last time out, the effort was it was an awesome effort. It was 12 lengths off the lead with a 49.5 mile on a yielding turf course. Lost by 5 lengths. Came in 2nd. Moms on Strike won that race. Who has won a couple races in the NYRA circuit. That was at Churchill Downs last time out. Ran in the Keeneland slop, came in 4th, but still made up some ground. It's tough to make up ground in the slop, but the effort at Churchill Downs at the 15th of September made up 12 lengths to win by a 1/4 of a length. That was impressive to see at the 1 1/8. I think the distance at a mile on the grass is going to be perfect for this horse. Making a few adjustments from the turf here. The horse did run good the horse did run well on the 3rd, but the turf effort last time on the yielding course, that was very impressive to see. And Jose Ortiz is a great turf rider, and really has good closing speed as well. Number 10 is Raining Lemons, John Velasquez up, another closer from Michael Matz. Last time out, the horse did run a nice closing race, lost by a quarter of a length. They throw the blinkers on for the first time. Michael Matz in 2017, 0 for 6, first time blinkers, but I think the turf effort from Matz have really improved, winning at an 18% clip, and the horse made up 16 lengths 3 races back. Pretty quick fractions, but making up 16 lengths and winning by a neck on the grass, that was a very impressive effort down at Parks. Horse was 18-1 that day as well. In the third spot, I have number 6. Number 6 is OKK. Another horse that I think is going to try to quicken up the speed here. There is other speed in this race. Number 5 has a ton of speed. And number 7 has some speed as well, who has a couple wins at Gulfstream Park. But OKK, Rado Ortiz, speed on the grass. I think the horse is going to try to wire the field. It's going to get caught by some closers, but will run in the money to hang on at a good price. Race number 8, 9, 10, 6, and 3.
The 9th race on Friday at Gulfstream. Optional claimer, 50 tags, non-winners of 2 other than the condition. 3/4 of a mile, the trip.
6, 1, 4, and 5. Number 6 is Delta Bluesman. 7-2 on the morning line, Rado Ortiz and Jorge Navarro. The horse, I thought, has run very, the last 3 races, I thought in those stakes races, pretty competitive there at some good prices. Was the favorite 2 back, was the favorite 3 back. But the race last time in the grade 3, coming in 4th, I thought that was a nice effort from the outside stall. The horse did have the 6 hole. That was early in January of last year. Came in 3rd that day. But I think just a horse with a ton of speed that no one's really going to challenge. I think that he's going to get a clean break from the 6 hole. And it's going to really be tough to catch at a nice 7-2 price. Number 1 is the Bounding Legacy, a horse that has run in the money a ton in its career. 16 times on the money in 23 starts. 2017, not a great year. Only 1 win after that nice 2016 season with 5 times on the money in 7 starts. But loves the Gulfstream tracks. 15 times on the money in 20 starts as well. Going out for Ralph Nix. Just a horse I think is going to have a nice stalking role. Just one of those horses that I think is going to hang on to running the money as well at 3-1. And then number 4 in the 3rd spot is Tiger Blood. A horse that had a very nice buyer 2 back against a pretty good field. Last time out, ran against a very good field as well. Ran against Oyster Lanka, El Deal at Monmouth. That was in a nice stakes race in June. I think the layoff is going to really help this horse out with some speed for Tiger Blood. Race number 9, 6, 1, 4, and 5.
And a nice full field to wrap things up on Friday afternoon down in the Miami area. Gulfstream's 10th, a maiden $35,000 claimer, 7.5 furlongs on the grass.
6, 10, 11, and 1 here. Number 6 is Dreaming of JoJo, 7-2 on the morning line. Just a really interesting horse. Wade Catalano used to train the horse. When Wade Catalano brings his horses into Keeneland, his maiden special weight numbers from last spring have really been impressive. The horse didn't really do any running in that maiden special weight effort, but Wayne Catalano knows how to train horses, really, and especially in the maiden special weight at Keeneland. Really thought the horse had a nice effort. Had a really nice shot at the maiden special weight 64 at Keeneland. Was the favorite. Really didn't do any running after having the lead early in the race, but does have some speed here and is running against, I think, a lesser competition than it's seen at Churchill and Keeneland and at Kentucky Downs. So some pretty good races the horse has, and raced against Mississippi, who was in a stakes race, I think, last weekend. Was the second choice in that stakes race. Number 10, 10-1 on the morning line. Billy Mont, Jose Lascano up. A horse that is dropping as well from maiden special weight 60 at Aqueduct. It's now coming down to Florida to run in the maiden 35. Billy Mott has 2 wins in 19 starts, 10 times in the money in those 19 starts. Definitely a horse you can use underneath. Jose Lascano's really improved his turf running, and he's made a huge impact down in Florida already, running in the money 27 times in his 65 starts. And number 11, 12-1 on the morning line, Barkley Tag, first-time starter. A nice little Virginia-bred horse that I thought was shooting to run in the NYRA circuit. Probably will run in the NYRA circuit as well. Barkley Tag trained. Couple bullet workouts. One that stands out is that December 26th bullet workout. And then early in October had a nice workout as well. I think first-time starters can't really ignore, especially from the outside stall. Nerad Ortiz is going to try to get the lead with this horse for the two-turn sprint. Race number 10, 6'10", 11-1.
All right, that puts a bow on things at Gulfstream on Friday afternoon. We'll take a break, come back, and look at Aqueduct for January 12th. Stay tuned. We'll come back with the Handicapper Sports. Seth Maroselli Karate. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. We're going to jump into the Aqueduct card here on January 12th. Race 1 at Aqueduct. It's a mile starter allowance. I'm going a mile out of the chute with a purse of $55,000.
I've said this for the past probably month. These races are not my favorites because we have 4 contenders in here who are really coming off turf races, and it's that time of year. You try the dirt. What do you have? Now, I will say a couple of them have already given dirt tries, but with mixed results that haven't really said one way or the other. That's why they're back, I think. I went 5, 4, 6, and 2. I went with Hembry, who clearly they want the turf. But if you look back May and June, this horse had a couple of dirt races down at Churchill. Number-wise, they were pretty good as compared to this bunch. So there is some dirt form for Hembry. Good form recently on the turf. It is Rudy. I'm going to put my trust that this horse maybe can get back to those dirt numbers we saw back in the springtime with the return to the main track here at Aqueduct. But it's a question mark, admittedly. California Swing in the second spot. This horse was racing on the turf, and this is one of those that did get a dirt start last time. But again, it was a little bit of a question mark. It was a very similar race. Ran 4th in a field of 7, but it was an okay 4th. It was a number that stacks up with this bunch, so I'll give this one more shot on the dirt. And then in the third spot, Vilma. Actually, let me check that. I will say I have in the third spot Vilma, but as we tape this, the announcement has come out that Linda Rice's barn at Belmont has been put under quarantine. So I would expect Vilma a likely scratch. And at that point, I'm going to bring in Going Strong. At 20-1 on the morning line, with the scratch, that may moderate a little bit. I just thought this horse was a little bit interesting coming off the claim. I think there are some back numbers for Going Strong that are pretty good. Trainer does pretty well first off the claim. There are a couple of bullet workouts in December that kind of maybe make that last race look like a little bit of an aberration with some traffic trouble. We'll see. If you get a little bit of a price, take an extra look at Going Strong. In the opener at Aqueduct, I have it 5, 4, 6, and 2. Again, the 6 is likely scratch.
Race number 2, 6.5 furlongs, maiden claiming race for $41,000.
1, 8, 6, and 2. Although again, and as we tape this, the Linda Rice news, we're taping before obviously any kind of scratches, but I would expect Cocktail Countess to be scratched. But take a look at that one if that's not the case. But then a move up is likely the 7-5 morning line favorite, Solitary Gem. I was taking a slight shot against the 7-5 favorite, but now with the my option likely out, this becomes just a clear win contender. Solitary Gem moved from maiden special weight company in the first 2 starts to a maiden claimer last time, showed an improved finishing position, adds blinkers on Friday afternoon. Just with the numbers this one is fired as compared to what we've seen for the rest of the field, yeah, a deserving favorite. Second spot, Gia Michael, who put in a pretty good career debut for Carlos Martin. It was a 4th place finish in a field of 6, but it was with a number that stacks up very well with this bunch. And we always know horses have the ability to maybe move forward in their second career starts. If we do get some of that forward momentum, this horse will be very, very interesting. And then Lillard Hall showed an improved effort last time. Maybe just be one of those who had to kind of figure it out through the first couple of starts, and now has, with those under the belt, has moved forward in a fashion that says I've gotten the hang of it, and we can get another good performance this afternoon. So in the second at Aqueduct, again, with the Linda Rice trainees being a little questionable, I have it 1, 8, 6, and 2, but that one may scratch.
Race number 3, a mile and an eighth optional, an allowance optional claiming race for state breds for $57,000.
1, 4, 3, and 2. The number 1 is Cotton Candy Cutie. It's Rudy Rodriguez. It's a horse with a lot of nice early positional speed. Hasn't been seen for the better part of 2 months, but it is Rudy, so I'd expect the horse to be ready to run. We have a bullet work, although not a fast bullet work. Boy, this one gets a bullet with a 104. What were the other 7 horses doing that day? But, it is Rudy, and so you'd expect this horse to be fit and ready to roll off a little bit of bench time, as it were. But again, has some nice positional speed. Should get a good spot from the rail. We'll put Cotton Candy Cutie on top. Second spot, we'll go with Connie A, the Pletcher runner, who is probably getting a little touch of class relief. Has been in some state bred allowances for the past couple of starts. I think this optional 20, 25 state bred non-winners of 1 probably will tend to be a little bit tougher. Turf experiment last time, number-wise was okay. Finishing position, not so much. I think this horse is going to appreciate A, a little bit of class relief today, and B, the return to the main track. So I think Connie A is a player for Todd. An Unbridled Adventure in the third spot. The race 2 back attracted my attention. It was in a starter 50. Like Connie A, last time was in a state bred allowance non-winners of 1, other than I think both of those are tougher than today. So the race 2 back, good second with a good number, combined with a little bit of class relief for Unbridled Adventure, also puts that one in the mix. In the third at Aqueduct, 1, 4, 3, and 2.
Race number 4, 6 furlong claiming race for $31,000.
5, 7, 4, and 3. War Eagles return. It's Chris Engelhart, second off the claim. They claimed the horse for 16-2 back. The horse improved nicely for Engelhart in the first start for that barn with a little bit of class move up. So now they get back down to the level of the claim with the nice race under the belt. I think War Eagles return is logical. A Fleet Martini, son Jeremiah Engelhart trains this one. It's a horse that may be a little bit of an in and outer over the past few starts, but I say that, well, I should note, first of all, there was a March to November layoff. So when we talk in and out over the last couple of starts, the 1-2 back, they went up to Woodbine, and I wouldn't, A, it was on a synthetic track, and B, I think it was probably a little saltier than maybe what we'll see this afternoon here in New York. But then came back in an allowance at Finger Lakes and just missed. So it may have been just a layoff, that 1-2 starts back. It may have been a combination of the class or the synthetic track. So as I say, you look at it, and it's a little bit of an in and out kind of situation because we went from a 43 buyer to a 71. But I'm almost going to draw a line through that one back at Woodbine 2 back because I think then you look at the numbers underneath. And again, there are some 60s in there as compared to some 80s and some high 70s. But I think given what we saw last time at the Finger Lakes, it is Jeremiah. I'm going to expect a pretty good effort from Fleet Martini. Third spot, we'll go with Bluegrass Singer. This is a horse that has some nice early positional speed, has some really nice back numbers if you go back to the start of 2017. The most recent numbers haven't been there, but they're okay and they fit with this group. So I think we'll get a decent effort, at least competitive, again, with Friday's field. So the fourth at Aqueduct, 5, 7, 4, and 3.
Moving on to race number 5, 6 furlong claiming race for state breds with a purse of $47,000.
1, 2, 7, and 3. Bluegrass prevails. For Rudy Rodriguez. The last couple of starts were pretty good. They claimed the horse 2 back for 12-5. That was a winning effort. Then they moved into a similar state bred 25 last time and ran second. Eric Kensell was on board. Both of those starts back on board again this afternoon. I just think it all adds up for this one to be a contender. Certainly not invincible, though, because it's going to have to get past Saul the Freud, who has thrown numbers in the past couple of starts that are a little bit better. Also moves from the 7-pound apprentice to Kendrick Carmouche. I'll be interested to see where the betting public goes, because the morning line had the Rudy horse a shorter price, but bettors like to look at those numbers, as do I. And so I went back and forth, back and forth. I will admit, I kind of shied a little bit away from Saul the Freud on the low percentage trainer as opposed to Rudy Rodriguez. But again, I'll be interested to see where the betting public goes, and if they're like me and they shy away from the trainer, or they're more attracted to those 280 buyers. But I have Bluegrass Prevails over Saul the Freud. And then in the third spot, I went out to Jason Service and the number 7 Pegasus Red. I'm just drawing a line through the last race. The number was not high enough to be competitive with this bunch, but the 3 or 4 starts just before that were. Claimed the horse 2 back, so regressed a little bit in the new barn. You would have to think maybe they figured it out. There was also a little traffic trouble there. I'm going to look for a rebound performance from Pegasus Red. So Aqueduct's 5th race, 1, 2, 7, and 3. That brings us up to our next break here on the Handicappers Report, taking a look at some of the action for Friday, January 12th. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. Sully Crotty and Seth Merrow here. We're going to finish the remaining card at Aqueduct, starting with the late pick 4, race number 6. 6 furlong maiden claiming race for $41,000.
Well, this is fun. This is a fun race. I put him down in the 4th spot, but keep your eyes on first-time starter Carlisle Bell. Look at the breeder, Steve Bick. Our buddy Steve Bick, the breeder, and this one is owned by his DT stable out of their nice little race mare, Sable Chasm. I think she was a winner for them up at Saratoga going back a few years. But always like to root for DT, but with a homebred, this one's going to be fun. Goes out for Steve's buddy Gary Siaka. Carlisle Bell, as I say, I put it down in the 4th spot. I'll be really interested to see what it does. But I went the 1 entry, 7, and the 2 entry in the first 3 spots. Between the 1 entry, I like Impassable Creek better. Comes maiden special weight to maiden claiming, showed a little life last time. I think with the class relief, this horse can move forward. But we have the same jock named on both halves, so only one's going to go. I'll trust John Kimmel, the trainer, to make the correct decision, because I think Impassable Woman is also a contender if they go in that direction. But as I say, I prefer the plain one, but I'll go either way. 2nd spot, we will take a look at number 7, Desert Affair, a longtime loser, I would say, in these situations. You hate to label it, but it's a horse that has 18 tries and hasn't gotten it done yet. That said, the horse has hit the money 13 of those 18 tries. So the numbers this horse is firing are competitive with this bunch, and they all find one field eventually they can get through. Will this be the one today for Desert Affair? I think I think the horse is going to be competitive. Let me put it that way. 3rd spot will go to the outside, the 2 and the 2B. There are a couple of first-time starters that I think have a little bit of breeding. One of them is by Posse, and that half of the entry is trained by Rudy Rodriguez. I'd probably tilt in that direction if I wanted to make a case for one over the other, because I think there's maybe a little more nature and nurture at work with Catch Me With a Smile. But I'll use both of them in the mix as kind of the fresh face factor. Similarly to Carlisle Bell, really going to be, as I say, a lot of fun to watch and see what DT and the homebred from Steve Bick can do in this 6th at Aqueduct, the number 8 horse. But in the 6th, I have it 1 entry, 7, the 2 entry, and 8.
Moving on to race number 7, it's a starter allowance, going 7 furlongs for $51,000.
5, 8, 4, and 9. The number 5, again, probably a scratch. It's Acquainted from Linda Rice. And again, if you missed earlier, news came out as we were taping this, or a little bit earlier, that Linda Rice's barn has been quarantined at Belmont. So it's likely the horses on Friday will be scratched. But just in case, I do have Acquainted on top. But with the likely scratch, My Roxy Girl will be the move up. My Roxy Girl broke through. This definitely has the look of one that maybe just took a while to figure it out, because broke the maiden for 52 back and then really improved, stepping in against state-bred open maiden, open claimers. Wasn't a condition, in other words, in the follow-up. So has put in a couple of wins now. Those were off some nice performances just prior, a couple of seconds and a third and a second before that. So it's a horse that just seemed to kind of be getting to figure it out, found the proper class level. You know, the starter allowance may be a saltier condition, but just looking at what this horse has done as compared to the rest of the field, I think might be able to stick another one together. My Roxy Girl on top with the likely scratch of the Linda Rice horse. Second spot, Dream Fever. It's Brad Cox, a horse that's in some pretty good form. They claimed the horse 2 back, moved into a similar event last time and ran a good second. Why not right back with a good effort on Friday afternoon? And then we'll use Salty Smile. Hasn't been seen since the end of November, but that was a pretty good maiden breaker when dropped in for the 50 tag. So again, they may just have kind of figured the horse out and found a little bit of a comfort zone. So in the 7th at Aqueduct, 5, 8, 4, and 9, but again, the 5 is a likely scratch.
Moving on to race number 8, a nice little state-bred stakes race going 7 furlongs.
6, 2, 4, and 3. Once again, we have a Linda Rice runner in here. Holiday disguised, the 4, a likely scratch. I have it 6, 2, 4, and 3. It's likely to go 6, 2, and 3. Kazan and Absolutely are the horses you have to get through anyway. They've kind of been duking it out. Kazan got the better of Absolutely last time. 2 back Absolutely beat Kazan, but boy, I just like the performance last time from Kazan over this Aqueduct strip. I'm going to look for a replay today. Kazan on top, Absolutely in the second spot. As I say, the Rice horse likely to scratch, so we'll go with Be Worthy in the third spot. 2 for 2 over the Aqueduct strip, comes in off a nice win in a New York Stallion Series stake in the middle of November on this track. Should be a contender again Friday afternoon, but something's going to have to, you know, the top 2 will have to go back for this one to be a contender for that top spot, because I just think it's going to go through either Kazan or Absolutely. I tilted slightly in favor of Kazan. 6, 2, 4, and 3.
In race number 9, maiden special weight, going 6 furlongs for $55,000.
11, 5, 6, and 4, the number 11. I have gotten over the past, it really got onto this fairly recently, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Jimmy Creed, as a sire precocious runners. This is a second-time starter by Jimmy Creed from Steve Asmussen. So you throw in Jimmy Creed on top and then a second time out of the box for Steve Asmussen. I'm not going to be surprised if we see some nice improvement in the performance from Queen Apollo. 8-1 on the morning line. We'll take a little shot there in kind of a very competitive race. Orchid Party in the second spot. Desert Party to me is maybe a sneaky good win early type of sire, and this one had a decent career debut. It was at a 50 tag, claimed out of that, moves into the Rudy Barn. Another one I'm not going to be surprised if we get some improvement in the second start, and another one potentially with some odds because it's 12-1 on the morning line. And My Victoria Rose by Girolamo, second time for Jeremiah Engelhardt. So kind of a similar scenario with the breeding. Second start, got some first start education. Similar situation to my top 2 as well. So as I say, it's a competitive race. Any of these have the ability to wake up and get it done. We'll take a shot, though, play around with potentially some odds in the finale Friday afternoon at Aqueduct. Race 9, 11, 5, 6, and 4. Which brings us up to the end of this version of the Handicappers Report, Friday, January 12th. Again, you can catch us on the network in the morning, Capital OTB TV. If that's not convenient for you, go to the website, capitalotb.com. Click on the podcast link, and you'll be able to pull us up there and listen anytime at your convenience. Once again, let me jump in and give you some of the promos. Today, Friday, January 12th, a $500 bankroll at the Clubhouse Racebook. I'll have $500 to play on behalf of 30 folks. 15 will be chosen at the Clubhouse, 5 from new accounts, 10 from online entries. If you come to the Clubhouse, you can sign up between 11 and 2. I'll start playing at about 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon. More information at the website, capitalotb.com. Saturday, January 13th, a Fan Appreciation Day at the Slate Valley Lanes Easy Bet branch out in Granville. Swing on by, give us our chance to say thank you to you. Saturday also, the Road to Vegas handicapping contest gets underway at the end of the year. A seat to the NHC out in Vegas will be given away. Again, more information at the website. And as always, Sunday means NFL football here at the Clubhouse Racebook. Enjoy the football action as well as all the racing action. Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. All right, Seth Merrill and Sully Karate with the Handicappers Report. Sully, good luck.
You too, Seth. Good luck.
Good luck to all of you out there as well. We'll see you next time.